This is going to be yet another look at the outstanding play that Marlon Humphrey has given this team every week. I don't know what to say at this point if people don't recognize it. I don't look at all the analytics websites. I don't pay for those things. Not out of a lack of respect for them. I just don't have the time. Number one. And number two, when I do my evaluation of the film study, I want it to be organic. And what I mean by that is I want to watch the game live, tell you guys in a reaction video what I think I saw. And then when I get to all 22 in my hands, I want to watch it and tell you what I think there and if it confirms what I suspected on Sunday or if it goes against it. And in every case, I think Marlon Humphrey is balling. I mean, has there been 3 or 4 or 5 times this year where people have got open against him? Of course. He's a DB in the NFL. It's 2022. They've tried to remove the physicality of the game to artificially create more points and higher stats for receivers and quarterbacks because they want those guys to get more clout. They want to remove the clout from guys like Marlon Humphrey and other DBs in the league, and they want to give all that clout to receivers and wide receivers. There you go. It's going to happen. Sometimes Marlon's going to give up plays. It hasn't happened much this year for 2 reasons. He's playing well, and they're not throwing at him. Like, I'm going to show you film. I'm going to show you 4 plays where I think he's targeted or he's to the target side of the field prior to this week against the Bills, and I'll show you like 6 or 7 plays against the Bills. The last two or three of which I think he's on the target side, and he's just not having. He's not. The ball's not. They're not attacking him. Quarterbacks, for whatever reason, are not attacking him. You'll be able to make your own conclusions as we go through the film. So, quick look at Marlon Humphrey. A little bit that he's done prior to the Bills game. Myself and others have been saying he's playing at a really high level. I don't know what Is it elite? Is it very good? I don't know. He's just balling. Tight coverage on people. 3rd and 2 against the Jets week 1. Late Flacco throws over here. Could this ball possibly be caught by Corey Davis? Sure, but you got good coverage. And look, I'm going to pull this back a little bit. You can see it. Flacco is looking to throw the ball to this in cut. Watch him pump fake. He doesn't throw it. Why? Because Marlon's in great coverage. He's in great relationship. Flacco gets time, comes back to it, incomplete. Okay, fine. Marlon's up top. This is like our little funnel coverage. I have so much to say about how we cover empty. I got some bad news for you. The Bengals are going to run empty against us probably 16, 18 times on Sunday night because they're going to force us to line up to it and show that we will do so consistently. So far, we do not. Marlon up top. This is an amazing read. 3rd and 6. I think they do get the first down. Marlon should not be. He should not be covering this. Okay. He's reading the out by 2, and there's a vertical by 1. So, like, if Tua pump fakes here and throws up top, and Marlon isn't leaving his body in a position to defend it, he could get beat deep. All I know is it's not happening this year. He's seeing the ball thrown. Watch him break. I'll keep pulling it back so you can see him break. And then now, I'll do this like 3 or 4 more times. And now watch when I pull this back to the beginning here. You'll see that's right when Tua's throwing the ball. So Marlon is reacting in phase. Everybody talks about in phase with the receiver. Yeah, but when I say in phase, he's reacting in phase with the ball being thrown by the quarterback. Now, we're only rushing 3. There's times where we're bringing 4 or 5, and Marlon breaks on the ball early because he understands we're probably going to get pressure. That's a great play, regardless of whether they get the first down to the guy or not, and I don't think they did. In the slot, good coverage. It's a completed pass to Nelson Aguilar, I believe. Week 3 against the Patriots. Physical. You can see the receiver and him are locked up, and the receiver's trying to not push off. He's just trying to leverage Marlon to one side so then he can make that in cut all the way across the field. Mac Jones gets time, throws it over the second level, and this is one of my complaints with the Ravens defense. There'll be times where, and this is on Marlon, this is a completion on Marlon, so I'm not making excuses, but there'll be times where we have an underneath dropper, and it's Odafe Owe. He's not used to taking pass drops. The line of scrimmage is right here. Look at his depth. The line of scrimmage is a 47. He's got no depth. So when Mac Jones throws this ball, he easily can throw it over top of him because he doesn't have depth. Look at Chuck Clark's depth. Kyle Hamilton's depth is still kind of short. I know that it's 3rd and 4, but we just don't have enough depth to get in the window and restrict the throwing lanes when we have pretty good coverage by Marlon and other guys as well. But great job by Mac Jones. I think it's Nelson Aguilar getting the first down. All right, one more play from earlier in the season. This is a beautiful job of this funnel 2 coverage that we're playing. It's not empty. It's 2x2 or flex. And Marlon just, he understands where he has help this year. And I don't think we had that last year. Look at the relationship of these guys. You got a triangulated relationship. Now, the levels of the routes are different. You got a deeper out cut by this guy and what looks like an in cut here. But you do have the same thing. We're funneling this guy out to the safety. We're funneling these two guys in and out to the safety. Marlon's playing on the correct leverage side to allow the safety to help if the ball is thrown. Now he's playing great. He's giving us, so much every week. All right, some coverage stuff against the Bills. Some of it's going to be Gabe Davis, and some of it's going to be, I think, Stephon Diggs. So his coverage on Davis, all right? Davis trying to press him off vertical. I know that Davis came into the game injured, so I'm looking down at the bottom of the screen here, all right? I understand the completions at the top. We'll deal with that in a second. He's just not beating. He's not going to outrun him. And then they're both being physical right here. It looks like Marlon's getting his right hand on his hip, maybe his chest, and then Davis is taking his right hand, trying to swat him away. Can't do it. Can't create the separation. Now, what happens when Diggs, and first of all, just so you guys know, they're putting Diggs in this little short motion or motioning him across every play to protect him. Yeah, they're doing it to, find out the coverage, but they're doing it to protect him. Look at how quick and clean Diggs got the football on Marcus Peters. Watch a couple of the routes that he runs against Marlon. Now, two of them I think are going to be in the slot. Diggs didn't do much against us, and if you ask me. I think we generally played pretty good coverage on him. Some of the complementary guys were able to beat us. I think he's up here. It looks like him against Diggs. And this is a crucial pass play, if you ask me. They've run the same concept numerous times. Knox has there's a slight hedge there. Is it a push-off? I don't know, but there's definitely, come on, what are we doing talking about the last 2 days, right? As he gets to the top of this route, there's definitely some extension with his right arm. So, you make the conclusions as you wish. All right, but let's check out Marlon against Diggs. Is it supposed to be a whip route? Is this, China out? I don't know, but I just know Marlon is there. It's a 2nd and 10. Is it possible for Allen to throw this football into this vacated space? Yeah, it is, because we blitz an inside linebacker. But it's all related. We blitz an inside linebacker, we get a little bit of pressure, so Allen's got to throw the ball a little bit sooner now. The tight end makes a nice play on Geno Stone. He beat Geno Stone, man, on this drive, I think. On this drive. And then on a later drive, he beat Chuck Clark, man. That was the game-winning drive for the go-ahead field goal. Up at the top against Davis, who again came into the game injured or somewhat limited. One of the few times that Davis is able to get, any type of separation. You can see Marlon's still there. He's just not able to redirect his feet. I feel like his left foot has crossed over because he caught himself, thinking it was a vertical, and then now his left foot is just a little too far crossed over for him to open his hips and recover before the ball gets there. Ends up being a drop because we're challenging everything. Stevens, Humphrey, Peters, we're challenging everything, regardless of whether it looks like it's going to be a catch or not. All right, down here at the bottom, I think that's Diggs, and there's Marlon. And we're just playing a little off coverage multiple times. This is the 2nd play in a row where the ball has been thrown to the side where Marlon lines up, but it's not thrown at him. Now, yes, Knox has won this. Again, we've dropped Oweh in coverage. I just don't know what our returns are on this coverage at this point. On that concept, I don't think we're getting returns. We're not getting depth. Again, look, Oweh got a little crossed up with his eyes here. He read pass, and instead of turning his back and running, he kind of looked at the quarterback for a moment, so he hesitates. Look at the depth when the ball's thrown. The line of scrimmage, I'm not sure if you can see the ref's feet. Line of scrimmage is 22. He's still at the line of scrimmage, right? Man catches the ball 5 yards downfield. Oweh's there, so he's got explosiveness. He's got recovery. He's got speed. We're just not, in my opinion, putting a guy in a position to succeed by having him pass drop once he reads pass. Marlon here against Diggs. I think Diggs gets open on this little cross cut. But I think, again, Allen throws to someone else. Why is he not throwing at him? I don't know. I think it's available if we had the end zone angle, and I don't think I show it to you. I think he's got Marlon beat. So there's the opportunity to throw the ball out in front. However, what do we got? A safety driving on it. I think Josh Allen sees that. It's 3rd and 3. I love it. We're putting our best guy on their best guy. Their best guy appears to have won the matchup, and we've got a high-level safety who can break on it and dissuade the quarterback from throwing it there. What does it do? Forces him to go to a secondary option. And it's a nice breakup by Josh Bynes. I think the receiver was actually bobbling it before then, but it's still a nice job being on the leverage side by Josh Bynes. So you can see Diggs has got a step. Allen's already got the ball out. We're driving on it. Would he be able to complete the pass? Probably. But, there's bodies in the way. All right, so that's probably why he goes to the second part of this read. Ends up being incomplete. Marlon's not going to win every route, right? Up at the top here against Davis. And this is the boot by Josh Allen. Great design by the Bills. And I think we have a little bit of a lack of awareness sometimes as a defense. There's probably a reason why this ex-receiver Davis is lined up super close to the left tackle. It's so that it gives Allen the space over there, because along with the alignment is Davis coming in here to maybe seal or crack someone. And then once he ain't got nobody to crack, he'll peel back and try to help out with blocking, for Allen out on the left flank. And then we don't make the tackle. You would love to see us make the tackle. It's not an easy thing to do to make that tackle. I think Marlon ends up too far, horizontal towards the sideline. But he thinks that Josh Allen's trying to sideline it. He thinks he's trying to sideline and then pylon it. So that's why he's getting width, overruns it, doesn't make the tackle. I think 1 or 2 more plays from the Bills game. You guys can let me know. I think we're dropping off in zone here. Empty. No, my apologies. We're not dropping off in zone. This is the horrible coverage we play against empty. 3 times in this game, and we gave up screens twice on it. I'm gonna digress here, and I'm gonna kind of spin this a little bit toward those people who say, well, if Marlon Humphrey's playing so great, how come we're giving up all these pass yards? Because we don't line up the trips. I don't know what explanation y'all want. If you want the in-depth version, or if you want the abbreviated one, you probably want the abbreviated one. It's past midnight. So there's 5 guys to the left. Okay, the left guard, left tackle, and 3 receivers. That's 5. And then the center is a half a man, and the quarterback is a half a man. So that's 6. All right, 5 plus 1 half plus 1 half. That's 6 for them. We have corner, linebacker, safety, D-end, D-tackle. Now this guy is not on the midline. The midline is that hash. So we got to count him, all right? So we got 6. The problem is, though, only really 1, 2, maybe 3 are in position to defend the screen primarily. Of course, this could be the 4th guy. Well, what do, though? We blitz one of those guys who could defend the screen. That's Queen right here, blitzing. There's his helmet. He's blitzing this way. And look at the numbers they got. They got a hat for a hat. They got a hat for a hat. And he's the 3rd guy. So it's 3 on 2 momentarily. Yeah, some of us are going to focus on Chuck Clark. He needs to do a better job making the tackle, no doubt. The problem on this play was created before the ball was even snapped by alignment and nobody checking out of this blitz. That could be on some of our veterans. I think we got Marlon here. I think we've got Williams here. And I think we've got Chuck here. And then we got Marcus Peters over here. Now, he's on the other side of the field. But it's empty. And right now, just so you know, we're bringing 6. And you may say, oh, sometimes you got to play cover 0. No, you don't. No, you don't. Actually, you don't. Not when the quarterback can just flip this thing out here in a screen and you're out. You're outflanked. Outflanked means you don't have enough people to defend a horizontal play, which is usually toss. Conceptually, this is just toss. But really, it's just a screen as far as the play call. Marlon's trying to force the ball inside, up at the top. So he's getting outside leverage to trying to turn the ball, back in here, which he's done. And we just don't make the tackle with Chuck. We don't stay on the backside hip. We don't stay on the right hip of I think that's Shahir Pretty talented guy. Horrible. So we give up pass yards sometimes because of our alignment and our lack of awareness. Like this is poor. This is poor. That we're bringing this guy against empty. What's the drawback? What's the benefit? Excuse me. There is none. Because if they catch the ball with all this space, there's no third-level players. We've essentially created a two-level defense by removing our second-level defenders, by removing Josh Bynes, by removing Patrick Queen. We've created a two-level defense. So anyway, that's 6 or 7 plays of Marlon Humphrey against the Bills. Not targeted a whole lot. If you have a PFF subscription or whatever those other services are, and you want to post up in here, hey, Coach, he was targeted 4 times and gave up 26 yards, go ahead and do that. I mean, that's fine. I recognize that those people do accurate work. I just don't want to use it because I want to keep my analysis organic. Does that limit my analysis sometimes? I don't know. You tell me. You're the ones that watch the video. It probably does because I don't have a global awareness of, how many catches he gave up. But I mean, from watching the game, watching the all 22, in my mind, I can tell, I can get a pretty good range. If he gave up 8 catches, I'm not going to guess he gave up 3. He damn sure didn't give up 8 against the Bills, and I know he didn't give up 3. He's not even getting targeted 3 times at this point. For real. There's got to be a reason, guys. There's got to be a reason. Is it because some of our other guys are not, his equal in terms of coverage, like Brandon Stevens? Yeah, of course. Chuck Clark? Yeah, of course. Those guys are deficient compared to him. Marlon Humphrey's playing at a high level, not giving up completions, has tight coverage. I think I've shown you that. I did show you Nelson Aguilar beating him on that, over route, the same similar route that Stephon Diggs beat him on. I'd call it a cross route because there's no play action associated with it, but same concept. Other than that, he's playing great. He's playing great. He had one time against the Jets, Corey Davis, where his hips got kind of tight, and he kind of opened up to the sideline, and Davis crossed his face and brought it back on a post, and then dropped it. Flacco threw it a little bit behind, I think. But I think he's playing exquisite, man. We're lucky to have him. You know what happens to us against the Bills Sunday without Marlon Humphrey? They drop 40. For real, they drop 40. Because we can't just put him on someone and kind of eliminate that player from the quarterback's options for that play. Is he a shutdown corner? Is he going to shut down Jamar Chase or T. Higgins? Hey, who's shutting those dudes down? Nobody. Nobody is. We're going to have to play leverage defense with principles and try to limit those guys when they do catch the ball. We damn sure can't be bringing 6 against empty because Joe Burrow will tear us up. Those calls are incredibly poor and frustrating. So you let me know what you think of the video breakdown, man. I find myself getting heated. I have to take my sweatshirt off as I'm talking about empty because we're putting players in bad position. So far this year, Marlon Humphrey has, I'm not talking about him being put in bad position by his coach. He's not putting himself in bad position. He's always in a good position. He's always in the right place, making the right reads. Special player. Glad we got him. You guys let me know if you agree or how much you agree in the comments section. Appreciate you guys' time.